Vikings. Can they get the job done and get in a positive win-loss ratio? Let's find out as the umpire throws the ball in the air. Josh Rafferty waited patiently and then gathered it with both hands. Kicks up inside the 50. Cavallaro on the flank, wheels onto his right boot inside 50, clears the head of post. Almost got onto it. Kennedy, who's come back into the team, tried to snap it onto his boot. It was knocked away by Yacarino, who pressures. Well, he was here a couple of years ago, won the Barry Priest medal. Steve Kennedy went back to Ballarat, and now he's back again with his junior club, Altona. He's escorted out of play. It'll be thrown in 30 metres out from the end. The Vikings are attacking.
So boundary throw in. Boyd and Post go at it. Neither get a definitive tip. Spotswood will have it, but a strong tackle there by Steve Kennedy. He's certainly throwing himself into this affair, and he forces another ball up in the right forward pocket at the southern end of McLean Reserve. Boyd winning the tap. Kennedy trying to do the roving. And again, the boundary line is a bit too close. It's over in front of the old hall there, for those familiar with this famous old ground in the western suburbs.
Yeah, he started well, Steve Kennedy. They certainly welcome him back to the club. He was probably sorely missed last year, but they're definitely happy to have him back in the team, and he started this game really well.
It's actually Del Grosso in the ruck for Spotswood. Couldn't quite win it down this time. Ball still caught in that cul-de-sac on the outer side. Now a clearing kick out in front of the club rooms, and it bounces out of play.
So it'll be a boundary throw in right on true centre wing on the outer side. For us anyway, but it's the club room side here at Spotswood. McLean Reserve, if you're listening, 88.9 Win FM is the frequency, but if you're at the ground, 90.1 at the throw-in. Del Grosso gets to the front, wins it down, relieving Murray Boyd of some ruck duties, which might be handy for Spotswood. In the end, it's seen over the boundary line, so they'll do it again in the exact same spot. No scores yet. Tick into the second minute of this opening term.
Yeah, that wind has certainly picked up a bit, and it's definitely blowing up the northern end of the ground. So it's a matter of whether Altona can obviously can defend well against the breeze, and whether Spotswood can attack well with the breeze.
So from the stoppage, they get it up towards half forward, Spotswood, but not cleanly. They hack it forward. Magna Bosco got a quick little toe poke. That was too hot for Cavallaro. He was able to apply the pressure. Robbins gets in there. He had about 3 woodsmen to get around. And then young Ethan Taylor was upended, legally, according to the umpire. A ball up. Just forward of the wing to the end. Altona is attacking. Rafferty wins it down. Comes out a couple of hand passes, and then Kennedy on the end of it. Kicks inside the 50. Oh, almost juggling it there was Turnbull, and he's been paid either a mark or a free kick. It won't matter. He'll have the set shot. Gareth Newton has to toss him back the ball. Landed an awkward half volley, and I think Turnbull half wanted a 50-metre penalty, but that was a bit of a joke. He plays on, wheels onto the right boot, gets plenty on it. It's going to fall short. The wind holds it up, and probably the smallest man in the pack has plucked the mark for Altona. Well, we don't have a number 35, so the mystery man is going to kick the goal. He's only 15 metres out, just right of centre. Can he guide it through? He can. So the Vikings strike first blood on enemy territory. They're 1 straight 6. Spotswood rather, yet to score. 3 3/4 minutes gone in this opening term.
Yeah, good start by Altona. A very good kick by Mitch Turnbull to get it towards the top of the square, and a fantastic start by the Vikings to kick a goal against the breeze. So, yeah, good start for Altona, considering that the centre clearances haven't been so clean so far, but they managed to get the ball inside 50 and pluck a goal from virtually the top of the goal square.
So it'll be Del Grosso in ruck again for Spotswood, up against Rafferty. He climbs all over the top of him. Rafferty does better at ground level. Now Kennedy coming in, but Spotswood managed to burrow it forward through O'Brien. Kick inside the 50 for the first time for the woodsman. Now gathering the loose footy is Edwards. His kick is around the body, high to the top of the goal square, and going at it with the one hand there was Betty Old. Couldn't quite get clean purchase, and Altona will clear a long spiral punt out towards the clubhouse side. A contest for the footy there. It looks like it's Walsh who's over the top of it for Spotswood. He goes to ground. There's stacks on the mill, and the umpire will come in and ball it up at right half forward here for the Woodsmen, or for Altona rather. It's in front of the Spotswood club rooms, which are well attended today. Rafferty had the better of the tap. Trying to burst his way through here for Spotswood was Post. The big fella couldn't quite get clear at half forward, and again we'll have a ball up. Very tight game this early doors. Del Grosso over his head and a clearing kick for Spotswood up towards the clubhouse wing, but dropping back. It's Kelly Pickard for the Vikings, one of their key defenders. Had a fantastic season last year. He's in a bit of two minds here. He sits up a high ball towards half forward, going back Del Grosso from the side. A big fly there for Altona. No mark is taken, and again there'll be a ball up. The umpires earning their money early doors here, Muskie.
They certainly are. Altona have started really well by taking the ball towards their attacking 50 quite a few times in this quarter, considering that they're kicking against the breeze. So good start by the Vikings.
Robbins in the clinches, ducked a tackle, can't get through another one. He's got nowhere to go, and again we'll have a ball up just outside the attacking 50 for Spotswood. Or for Altona rather. Ball up again, Rafferty took it straight out of the ruck and put it on his boot. It floats up inside the 50, again close to the boundary. Galloping after it here is McInerney for the Woodsman, and he's happy to see it out of play once more. It's a stoppage fest in the opening minutes here. If you've just joined us, Altona won straight, Spotswood yet to score on this Anzac weekend WRFL match of the day. Cade Lucas, Pepe Cavalieri, Andrew Muscat, Sarah Ramontanis with you at the throw up, and Del Rosso nearly fell backwards as he got the tap over his head. Again, they can't get out of the clinches, and there'll be another ball up, and an Altona player's down behind play. It's Geordie Robbins, who has not moved after being hit in that contest, and the trainers are coming out to him. You see anything there, Muskie?
He's just slowly getting on his feet. He must have just copped a little bit of a knock in the ribs there, but I think he looks okay. So
he's back up, and the Altona trainer is turned around and gone back towards the boundary. So it doesn't look to be too serious, though he is back on his haunches again. Looks like he will have to come off.
Just an update, boys. I've just done some scouting. Number 35, who kicked the opening goal, is Tom Mundy for Altona.
Okay.
And
Tom Mundy.
Tom Mundy.
Okay. Pepe's on the case.
Number 35. He just had given an incorrect number at the beginning, so we found that out.
We've got a bit of break in play here as Geordie Robbins makes the very long trek all the way diagonally across the ground from the half-forward flank where he was to the away bench.
And Trent Rafferty's come on to replace him.
Okay, so ball up, play underway again. Del Rosso with those long arms winning the tap, and then following up and helping it forward where it's smacked on by Iacarino. Spotswood win the clearance, but not for long as the Vikings arrive in numbers. Now a kick forward by Del Rosso again. Bouncing footy up towards Boyd. Can't gather the captain, and out of play it goes. This time on the half-forward flank for Spotswood at the northern end.
So Altona at the moment controlling the territory battle, at least for the moment. It is at half-forward for the Spotswood for now. At the throw-in, Del Grosso tries to flip it over the back. Good pressure applied by the Woodsman as Altona tried to escape. A high ball from Kennedy. Went backwards in the end. Might have been a push there against Magna Bosco. It spills over the back. Well done there by Pickard, who laid a strong tackle. It's still in the left back pocket for Altona as they try to exit it. Kennedy again right in the thick of things is wrapped up. It'll be a ball up.
Yeah, he started well, Stephen Kennedy. Obviously a former Altona junior boy coming through the system. He left for a couple of years, but he's definitely been a huge inclusion back into this Altona lineup.
So a secondary bounce. Boyd wins it down into a bit of space, gathered by Iacarino, throws it onto the boot. It was messy, but it's a goal.
Great play, David Iacarino.
Spotswood square things up as we near the 10-minute mark in this opening term. One straight 6 apiece. And that was well set up by Murray Boyd, who was able to get a meaningful punch into a bit of space. And once they found some breathing room there, Iacarino didn't need any more excuses.
Yeah, very good play by Murray Boyd, and David Iacarino is so smart around goals that he's certainly definitely quite a handy goal kicker for Spotswood, and yeah, it's just the goal that the Woodsmen needed just to get themselves off and running.
Gertz is in the ruck now for Altona, and he wins the tap up against Del Rosso. A kick forward though for the Woodsmen, who've got the sniff here. Nastasi after the ball. Now the running Hodgson looking for a second in a row. It's a floating ball. It falls just on the wrong side to the Westgate Freeway end, and it's one behind. Spotswood up and away here now after about 10 minutes at Don McLean Reserve.
Yeah, that was a good centre clearance by Spotswood in that time. Probably the first clean centre clearance for the game so far, but just offline and through for a behind. Altona have to make sure they try and hold the ball as much as they can against the breeze.
Magnabosco with the kicking in duties. He plays on, kicks to a climbing Gertz who couldn't quite bring down the mark. A quick panic ball up the wing. Kennedy didn't take it cleanly but was paid the mark in the end. He was brought to ground as he kicked there by Harvey. And if they paid a downfield free, or is it coming back?
I think it's coming back to Steve Kennedy by the look of it.
It is back to the centre wing on our broadcast side of the ground here. Wasn't kicked particularly close to him. Kennedy will have to go and retrieve it. 1-1-7 Spotswood. Altona 1 straight 6. 11 played opening term at Donald McLean Reserve. Pepe Cavalieri, Cade Lucas, Andrew Muscat and Sarah Ramantanis with you this afternoon. Kennedy just neatly guides it up towards right half forward, unable to take the mark. There was Cavallaro, but he was nudged over the shoulder. He's got a bit of an eye patch on, or a forehead patch at least. Cavallaro hoists it inside the 50, gets over the head there of Post, couldn't quite gather. Neat little tap down to Rose, who snaps but misses. It was very, very clever there from Jack Marley, who just tapped it down to the advantage of Rose. He didn't get let go of by the Spotswood defence, and he misses it, and now Harley Walsh can just waltz out of defence for the Woodsman.
And his kick bounces out in front of the club rooms, but running onto it there for the Vikings was Magnabosco. Now through heavy traffic, it is Magnabosco again trying to get the hand pass away. Again, it's caught in a pack. That's been the perennial problem in this game so far. Very stop and start. Comes out of the pack now towards Mundy. Now a kick forward by Pickard, coming up out of defence. Bouncing football though, and it's controlled well here for Spotswood by Iacarino. Up through the corridor, floating ball, and coming out and presenting is O'Brien. He takes the mark, he's forward of the wing, he drives a long ball up towards the goal square. Boyd chasing after it, but getting back on the line for the Vikings was Papasitsakis, palming it through for a behind. That was going all the way.
Yeah, good play by Papazakis just to get a finger on the to force that through for a rush behind, because it looked as though that it was going to be a certain goal to Spotswood. But good defence by Altona.
So 1-2-8 Spotswood, Altona 1-1-7. So not much in the way of scoring so far. Magnabosco kicks in, it was poor. They've turned it over here. Can they pounce the Woodsman? No, they've turned it over themselves, but a great tackle there in the pocket there by Sam Harvey for the Woodsman to lock it in. And they'll get another go at a stoppage at left half forward. Poor kick in there from Magnabosco. They weren't able to exit the defensive 50. Can the Woodsman lock it in? Slapped close to the boundary. Just kept in. Panic ball down the wing, and then another one. Didn't quite get over the back. Hands to it there for the Woodsman was McInerney. Kennedy got onto it. Hand pass over the top. Kick was partially smothered. Pickard had to go in again. Released out the back. They've been good in the clinches so far. Wide ball in the direction of Turnbull, but it's slapped out of play for the Woodsman there by Sam Rornick. Comes in today for his second game of the season. It will be thrown in on centre wing. 1-2 plays 1-1. 14 goal opening term.
Gertz and Del Rosso. Gertz has certainly reasserted his dominance since he's come on in the ruck contest. Kick away here by Boyd though for Spotswood, up inside the forward 50 again. They've dominated the last 4 or 5 minutes, and they've got it here again through Nastasi. Kick around the body, bouncing football into the pocket. Murray Boyd chasing after it, but he doesn't have much room, and out of play it goes as the traffic streams past on the Westgate Freeway.
Yeah, they have certainly dominated the last couple of minutes with the football, Spotswood. Altona have to try and make sure that their defence really holds up and don't allow Spotswood to get easy possessions to score goals, because that'll put them on the back foot.
Boundary throw in the right forward pocket, and again it's palmed back over the boundary, or not quite over the boundary. Now it is. So again, the ball getting caught in these deep pockets here at Donald McLean Reserve. We're in the left forward pocket actually at the Westgate Freeway end. The boundary umpire almost amid the traffic. That's where the breeze is blowing in this first turn. The umpire swivels around, throws it in, taken out of the ruck by Boyd. Hospital handball. Is there anyone there to pick it up for the Woodsman? Coleman came through, couldn't get a kick on goal, and it's off hands, one behind.
So rushed through for Altona, who have been put under the pump in the last few moments. It was a dangerous ball, but it worked out okay. Ethan Taylor made it work. Kicks out wide. Spots up his teammate. Next in the chain is Post, leading out in front of Newton. Did it well, takes the mark. So Jaden Post for the time being working out of the goal square for the Vikings. We're used to seeing him marshalling things down in defence. Robbins back on the ground. Good news for the Vikings. Kicks to the post direction, who's made his way back forward. He gathered his own crumb. Hand pass to Taylor. Couldn't get free. And any hand pass was turned over. Yacarino receives it, running out of half-back. His kick was poor and chopped off for the Vikings there by Zani at right half-back. He gives it over to Magna Bosco, who kicks to Spateria, who spilt it but gathered it and then stepped around one and two opponents. He gets a high raking kick into the pocket. Post with the sit. Again, couldn't quite bring down the mark. Onto it for the Woodsman there is Coleman. He gives it out wide towards Edwards, close to the boundary line. Keeps it in play. Neat little kick was good. And the mark's been taken by Nastasi at right half-back.
Yes, Nastasi up and under kick for Spotswood, close to the boundary and fisted away and over the boundary in the right forward pocket at the northern end.
So just opening up a little bit in the last minute or so, Muskie.
Yes, it is opening up a little bit, particularly with Spotswood. They've certainly had a lot of the play in this late in this and the second half of this first quarter so far, but they've got to put it on the scoreboard.
So boundary throw in here. Boyd doing the ruck work as he does in the Spotswood forward line. He won it down, but there's a sea of players around it, and the umpire will have to come in and extract them and have a ball up at left half forward, about 50 out from the Spotswood goal.
It's a very contested game so far. Neither team are allowed any easy possession so far. Both teams locking their opponents up.
And that's exactly what they do here from the restart, and the umpire will have them as they were, another ball up.
A lot of tackles being made so far. The game is really hotly contested, but you get the feeling that as the game progresses, it will open up.
Well, Boyd tried to open it up there, taking out of the ruck. His kick has ricocheted out over the boundary line though, and this time the boundary umpire will go to work with the throw in deep in the right forward pocket. Ticked over 18 minutes in this opening term. It's a cagey affair. Cold, windswept day here as Boyd takes it straight out of the ruck. Chain of handballs, and now a kick inside 50 for Spotswood, and a mark. It's not paid. The umpire said it was off hands. Wheeling around here is O'Brien. Can't get boot to ball. Stacks on the mill once again, right at the goal mouth here for Spotswood. They can't get an effective shot on goal, and the umpire will come and ball it up.
This is what you would expect definitely from two very good teams. A tight, close, contested game where no player is allowed easy possessions.
Knocked forward in towards the goal square for Spotswood. It might be an opportunity. Cavallaro puts his body on the line. It spills out towards Killy. Couldn't get onto it. Ball up. About 40 metres out directly in front. The throw in, Gertz climbed early. Staying patient there was Boyd. He won it down, slipping over there at the crucial moment. It's the Woodsman's defence. High ball out of defence now, but only as far as Kieran Lynch, who takes the mark on the wing. He can put Spotswood back inside the 50. Gertz is well camped. He couldn't get a hand on it, but they've got numbers on the ground. Altona, and they exited it all, but only as far there as Jordan Boyd, who wins the football. And he has kicked a behind from 50 on the run. There's an opportunity.
Gee, that was a turnover, and it looked as though Jordan Boyd was going to march into a certain goal, but yeah, they've wasted a few chances, Spotswood. They could have probably been 2 or 3 goals up at this stage, but at the moment they're only 3 points up, so Altona holding firm.
So kick in here for Altona, who are pinned back in their own defensive half. A long kick here out towards the clubroom side at Don McLean Reserve. And Ethan Taylor got a kick around the body. Bouncing up towards Post, who's dumped to ground the former Tiger. Lost the football. And arriving there for the Woodsman was Basuttle. Couldn't gather cleanly. Now a kick off a step by Daly. Clearing the congestion, and a big fly and mark there for the Woodsman by Bettiol. Coming about 3 or 4 deep, he got up. And now he kicks long into the 50. Boyd will be the target. Was he held? Umpire says no. Comes off hands and the Vikings get away under pressure, but a kick only goes as far as Bettiol again. Not quite as extravagant this time. He just stayed on his feet and took it on the chest. Goes short here. Too short for Yacarino as a bunk ball. He has to move quickly. He's slung out of a tackle. Now comes back towards Bettiol. His kick is partially smothered. It's messy football. Basuttle now towards Del Rosso, the big ruckman. Got a kick forward and the mark's taken by Nastasi. Not the prettiest passage of play you've ever seen, but it will result in a shot on goal here for the Woodsman. Nastasi from about 25 metres out, near enough directly in front.
Yeah, he's got to convert this. Spotswood have definitely had probably more of the play than what Altona have, but he has to put it on the scoreboard and make it count.
He stabs at a left foot shot and the umpire arches his neck as it goes over the top. And that's a third goal for Spotswood, who are making this opening quarter breeze count. They are 2-4, sorry. I've just overestimated them slightly. 2-4-16, leading Altona 1-1-7. This is the WRFL match of the day with Kate Lucas, Pepe Cavalieri, Andrew Muscat and Sarah Amontanis.
Yeah, good goal by Nastagi. Spotswood have had a little bit more of the ball in this last 5 or 10 minutes compared to what Altona had, and they've had to put it on the scoreboard to make all that good work pay off, and they've certainly done that so far. Altona have to try and hold firm here and need to get that goal back.
Well done by Rafferty in the ruck, wins it out of the middle. First hands to it was Post, comes out towards, that's a horrible effort. It might still work out okay. They went for the dribbler. They'd hate that. Awful by Altona in the end. No good. Rose probably should have had the shot. He laid it off, and then a really poor dribble kick. Didn't even make it past the goal square. Now Spotswood, he can exit. Mark's been taken on the wing to Wayne Patak. He's given a bit of room on his right side, so he wheels inboard, kicks up towards half forward. It gets over the back, an opportunity here for Nastasi. He could get it to Callard if he wanted to, but didn't have the space. Pack forms, and the umpire will blow his whistle. It'll be balled up about 50 metres out at left half forward. 2-4 plays 1-1, 23 gone.
Yeah, there was a missed opportunity for Altona. They had a brilliant centre clearance, got it forward, but unfortunately couldn't manufacture a goal.
Robbins ends up with the footy. He's wrapped up. They'll do it again.
Back on the field after that knock earlier in the quarter, Geordie Robbins. And he's here at the clearance as there's a ball up. Boyd doing the ruck work. He's done quite a lot of it in the forward line so far this term, but there's a clearing kick away. Johnson almost took the mark for the Vikings, couldn't. Now a pack forms and the umpire's blown a whistle and a push in the back. And I think it's going the way of Altona on half back and picking himself up off the pack. There is, I think it's Magna Bosco. Kick out towards Cavallaro, who stands tall on centre wing outer side, takes the mark.
Good mark, Cavallaro.
The man who looks like he's playing in an eye patch. He's got this rather peculiar looking bandage down the middle of his forehead. He's a kick and a half from home into the breeze. It sits up in the 50. Coming late was Post. Couldn't take the mark. They're dangerous here though. Robbins doing the roving down towards Turnbull. His handball is smothered partially and they messed that up, the Vikings. It's palmed through for a rush behind. They should have got a goal there. Instead, they're 1-2-8, trailing Spotswood 2-4-16.
Yeah, 100% spot on, Cade. They certainly messed that up. There was a real opportunity for Mitch Turnbull to kick a goal, and yeah, gave the handball away, and it was a turnover, and cost themselves a certain goal.
A little bit too unselfish in the end from Mitch Turnbull, but they're only 8 points behind, having kicked into the wind, so that won't be too disappointing if they can hold firm the last 4 or 5 minutes. Throw in at left half forward. Rafferty snaps into the pocket. Rose front spot. Had tunnel balled him. Comes out the back towards Turnbull. Missed him as well. Lynch got a snap out of defence and then it was fisted out of play. Throw in right where we started at the 50, where it intersects the boundary at left half forward to the end. Altona is attacking. The 25-minute mark on 88.9 Win FM. At the throw-in, Rafferty front spot against Del Grosso. Wins it down on hands and knees. Patak at the bottom of the pack. Couldn't extricate it. Umpire waves play on. He allows them to play. It does out. He'll ball it up. Still 50 metres out from Altona's goal. Trailing by 8 points.
Ruckman both went up and missed the ball, but staying down and getting the kick away was Daly for the Woodsman. It's marked though by Kelly Pickard for the Vikings, who goes short and finds Robbins in front of the club rooms on the outer side, just taking his time as we tick down towards the first break. He goes very short here, and the mark's taken by Johnson. Kevin Johnson from just up the road in Yarraville, before coming down and playing Division 1 footy with Altona. It's a high ball up inside the 50. Post, second in line. He had 2 bites of the cherry and he got it on the way down.
Good mark, Jaden Post, and be looking for Altona's second goal to get them within 2 points.
He's been good so far. He's presented plenty of times. Just hasn't quite plucked him.
An unusual positional change. He's more known as a defender in this competition, but he started up forward today. Can he kick a goal to give the Vikings real hope as we go in towards quarter time? He's pushed it just to the near side. And it's one behind, but they'll be pretty happy with this result given the breeze they're kicking into and given the opportunities Spotswood have had. Margin just 7 points. 16 playing 9 in favour of the home team. Over 26 minutes gone in the first term. From the kick in, it's long to the outer side, through the hands of Spiteri for the Vikings, and now the Woodsmen are away. Hadara running handball on towards Bilby up the outer side. His kick wasn't great. It's cut off now by Johnson. Goes short, and the mark's taken here by Mundy. Kick the opening goal. He prods a ball into the pocket. Cavallaro going back, went the one-hander, couldn't mark, gathers on the bounce, dribbles towards post. He lost the football. Cavallaro butted up, and again it comes off hands, and this time it's out for a throw-in. Gee, they look dangerous on the break there, the Vikings, Muskie.
Yes, they certainly do, and they've been inside 50 quite a fair bit this quarter, which is fantastic considering that they're kicking against the breeze. They would dearly love to kick one late goal just before quarter time to get themselves right to within
They have an opportunity to do so here as Rafferty won the tap down towards Yacarino, though, who's wrapped up, and there'll be a ball up at the goal mouth for the Vikings about 20 metres out. Umpire moves it on quickly. Rafferty over his head looking for a crummer. Instead it's taken away by Dale. High up and under kick towards half-back for Spotswood. Kennedy, quick hands, out towards McDonald. Now Kennedy again, outside the 50. Spears a pass in the direction of McDonald. Diving and marking there, Josh McDonald, the youngster. And he will kick for goal into the breeze from about 40 metres.
Good play by Stephen Kennedy, just to break a couple of tackles and then spot Josh McDonald out inside 50 was just outstanding. So the former Glen Orden player, Josh McDonald, he finished it off with a goal to get them within 1 point.
Take a decent kick. It looked like he wanted to dish it off. He's gone back for the shot anyway. It does have the carry. Not quite the accuracy. The umpire pats his chest, and another behind here for the Vikings, who are starting to pepper the scoreboard a bit late in the term. They're 1-4 now, trailing Spotswood 2-4. A goal the difference.
We can't be too far away from quarter time. 28 and a half minutes gone. Low scoring. Moving slowly. Not unlike the traffic over there as well. The traffic lights weren't working when I got here. There was police directing traffic. Anyway, back to the footy. Spotswood exit the 50. Contest ensues. Front and centre is Daly. And the siren sounds for quarter time. It's the Woodsmen by a goal at the first change. 2-4-16 to 1-4-10. Probably didn't take advantage of the wind as they perhaps would have liked.
Application in that first term. What about at Altona, Sarah?
Vikings coach Sadi Ghazi said that they were doing really well. There was a couple of bad decisions there, and he said they had lots of opportunities and they just need to keep going and not miss those chances that they, might not have a bit of confidence in themselves, and to be mindful of the wind, even though it's only a little bit. There's always winds on these grounds, and he finds that it might distract them. So, yeah, just to be mindful and to keep going and to have a bit of faith in themselves.
Good on you, Sarah. Appreciate the input. there, and as you mentioned, the wind is making things quite difficult as Spotswood make their way straight out of the middle inside 50. Yakarina, already a goal kicker, slips the hand pass through. Beautiful stuff by Nastasi. Surely he won't miss from here, and he does not. He made the umpire work a little bit harder than he might have wanted, but he put it through. Nastasi, his first of the afternoon, and Spotswood strike first in the second term. 3-4-22 to 1-4-10, straight into the breeze and straight through for a goal. Yeah. Perfect start. Yeah,
good start for Spotswood. Great work by Nastasi. Tremendous leg speed, and certainly ran rings around the Altona defenders and just marched in for an easy goal. So good start to the second term for Spotswood. Anthony Eames would have definitely been hoping for that start from the Woodsman.
Underway after the ball up, and another kick forward there for Spotswood by Harvey, who's been pretty busy. Didn't quite find Wayne Patak on that occasion, and it's out of play at left half forward for Spotswood. Kicking to the avenue end here at Don McLean Reserve. The Vikings kicking towards the freeway end in this second term. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on 88.9 Win FM, WRFL match of the day. Boundary throw in. Gertz and Del Rosso. Del Rosso front posse, won it down. McInerney trying to shark the football on this occasion. Kick into the 50, almost marked spectacularly, going back with the flight by Hodgson for Spotswood. He couldn't quite hang on, and there's a ball up about 35 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, Spotswood have started really well by keeping the ball inside 50 and trying...
Boyd in the ruck for Spotswood, took it straight out, got a kick towards goal. It's bouncing, it's rolling, it's always going just too wide, and in fact too wide to score. It's out of play for a throw-in deep in the left forward pocket at the southern end here. Certainly making all the running early in this second term here, the Woodsman. Boundary throw-in, and Boyd and Gertz grapple, neither really get near the football, and we'll have another ball up as Josh McDonald tried to burst his way through, but he was wrapped up. Boyd and Gertz going at it. Boyd giving away a fair bit of height to the big Gertz, and he outreaches him here, the Vikings ruckman. Can't get a clear possession though, and it's Boyd who crashes in. Got a handball over the top. Running onto it here was Besuttle. Couldn't get a clean kick away, and it ricochets back out of play again. Still in the left forward pocket at the southern end of the ground.
So deep into attack for Spotswood. Into the breeze, controlling the play, and they're up by 12. Had the throw in. Boyd front spot, but it was one down there by Gertz. Rove the pack though. Spills out to the side for Nastasi, who's been busy. He was caught in the tackle by Spiteri. Can't escape. Ball up, 20 metres out from goal. 3-4 plays 1-4. 3 minutes gone in this second term.
Yeah, good start to this second term for Spotswood by locking the ball inside their 50, and they obviously kicking against the breeze in this quarter. They've started off really well.
So from the ball up, Yakarino almost had an opportunity, but he ran out of space. There's a boundary throw in now. About the same spot, left forward pocket. So a really crucial moment in this game already. Woodsman can get a goal or two into the breeze. It's going to make a huge difference. Yakarino spilt the footy. It was palmed down to him by Boyd. Socket off the ground pretty blatantly towards the boundary, and it's been signalled for a throw-in.
Yeah, wouldn't have been too many complaints at that being called deliberate. He had no other thought in his mind there.
Well, that's the only time they ever paid in this league. It's not adjudicated like it is in the AFL, which is sometimes a little harsh. This has to be a direct route to the boundary line. From the throw-in, hand pass into space for the Woodsman. McDonald dives in, gets caught high, wins the free kick. So now the pressure valve can be released for Altona.
Josh McDonald on half-back. Still picking himself up. I think he lost his boot in that high tackle, and he has it now on half-back. Has the long sleeves on today, as a few Altona players do. Not a bad option. Goes short. Oh, very risky kick. Making it look good though as Robbins is stretched up, took the mark, kicks towards centre wing on the outer side, and now they're away here, the Vikings. Papatsakis has it. Kick into the forward 50, and Poster's got on the end of it. Probably a little too far out to score. He's out on the out wide on the flank, about 50 metres out. Thought about prodding it short, but now he's going to have a ping.
Yeah, that was good play by Altona to get it outside their 50 and get it right down the centre wing, and now Jaden Post has a chance to put through the Vikings' second goal of the game.
From about 48 on a sharp angle just inside the boundary, it won't score. It goes over the back of the pack. Cavallaro trying to keep it in, but he's the meat in a Spotswood sandwich. Two players grab him and drag him over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw in the right forward pocket at the northern end of the ground. So Jaden Post, he's certainly presented hard today, has yet to hit the scoreboard though. Boundary throw in here. Gertz, who's been really strong in the ruck since coming on, he flipped it over his head towards McDonald. Tackle, got a kick forward though. It floats into the path of Basuttle, and now they're away the Woodsman. Basuttle kicks wide out towards the outer side of the ground, and racing onto it here is one of his teammates. I think it's Hodson, kick inside the 50. Not greatly directed there. It missed the target, and the Vikings come away. Kelly Pickard underneath it, can't get it cleanly. Now over the top of the football is Edwards. His handball went towards Callard. He can't gather cleanly. Now coming through is Zani for the Vikings. He's dumped to turf, and there'll be a ball in right next to our commentary position.
So the pressure building. About 60 metres out from goal to the end. Spotswood are attacking. They're up by 12, 3-4 to 1-4. No score since they popped one through about a minute into this second quarter. Kennedy weaving his way through. Couldn't find any space. Robbins happy to see it out.
Yeah, there hasn't been much space to move the ball today. Both teams are closing down the run and carry that both teams obviously like to play. So certainly a tightly contested game at the moment, and not enough room to run and carry at the moment.
So Gertz and Del Grosso comes out to Harvey. Quick kick, rushed kick inside 50. Robbins got it from Zani. Back by hand, and then a neat little kick out wide. The mark's taken by Pickard, who opens up the space, kicks over the head of McDonald, who went to ground trying to take the mark, got to his feet, missed the footy. Hand pass came out by Lynch inside the 50. Zani chopped it off, hacked out of defence again by the Vikings. Climbing high there was Raunick for Spotswood. Spills to ground. Tom Mundy gets onto it, coughs it up. Hit hard there was O'Leary, but he got rid of the footy and kicks to Post, who marks at centre half forward. He gives the hand pass over the top. It's going to be called back, but Marley was bursting into goal. Jaden Post will have to come back onto his mark. And again, he tried to give it off to Marlowe, who was still unmarked.
He's not very far out. He's got the wind at his back. He maybe has a bit of the yips or something.
So the 50-metre arc is very close to the edge of the centre square. And he'll kick from about 50. Shouldn't have any issues with distance, Jaden Post. We're right behind him, slightly left of centre. Hasn't kicked one yet. He's been pretty good so far. It's a pretty good kick. It's holding its line. It just drifts late on the breeze and misses to the right. So 1-5-11 Spotswood. Trailing Altona, rather, 1-5-11. Trailing Spotswood 3-4-22. 8 minutes gone in this second term.
Harley Walsh with the kick in for Spotswood, and he runs on and drives it long and high up towards the clubroom side, and it comes off hands and out of play. It was always headed that way. In fact, the umpires found a free kick for a push. Or not. No, that was just an errant gesticulation there by the umpire. It is going to be a throw-in right in front of the clubrooms here, which are very well populated on this Anzac Day weekend. Boundary throw-in. Del Rosso all over Rafferty like a cheap suit. Rafferty got the football. His kick was smothered. Now O'Leary came through for the Vikings. Kick up towards half forward for them. Pack forms, trying to weave his way through heavy traffic. There was Cavallaro. His kick was right on target, but it's marked on the line for Spotswood by Newton, deep in defence. And now there's a whistle.
I think it might be a 50-metre penalty.
Is that for a run across the mark? I think it might have been. Either way, Newton is going to be taken up the ground here, so a bit of luck of fortune there for the Woodsman. So Gareth Newton, kick, not a great one, up and under into the centre of the ground. Hadara under pressure, centre back, and now the mark's taken by Hodgson on half back here. Just slowing things down slightly, the Woodsman, pretty frenetic at the start of the term. Now Hodgson twirls the ball in his hands, goes short, finds Del Rosso, the big gangly ruckman who's galloped up to half back, taken the mark. on the commentary side of the ground. An up and under kick to no one in particular. Comes off hands. In heavy traffic there for the Vikings was Taylor. Couldn't get a kick away. Ricochets into the 50. Nastasi's there. He's dangerous. He's knocked off the football. Now Zani for the Vikings. He can't gather cleanly. Driven over the boundary, and a throw-in will occur in the left forward pocket at the Avenue end.
Gee, the tackling has been so intense by both teams, so certainly it's definitely a hotly contested one-on-one game, so no player has been able to break loose so far into space.
At the throw-in, 45 metres out from Spotswood's goal. In front was Rafferty, wins it down. Nastasi was caught.
He's been busy.
I thought he did get a free kick, and he has been given a free kick.
He's been busy. He's been dangerous whenever it's been in the forward 50, Nastasi.
He has. He's been fantastic so far in this second quarter. A very good, lightning quick player for Spotswood.
So he's 45 metres out, slightly angled to the right. Nastasi, left foot drop punt is always near. No, he squeezed it in. Gee, it didn't look like it was online from here. It must have swung back late. Umpire best place to call it, and Spotswood have the only 2 goals of the second quarter and have grown a 17-point lead. Charlie Nastasi with his second. He's got 7 goals on the year now. Very handy inclusion for the Woodsman. 4-4-28 to 1-5-11.
Yeah, very good play by Nastasi in the second quarter for Spotswood. Just a very good goal kicker, and they've started this second quarter really well. Altona, they wouldn't be happy with where they're sitting at the moment, and they've got to try and get back on the scoreboard as quick as they can while they're kicking with the breeze.
Throw up, Boyd in the ruck here for the Woodsman rather, but it's his opposite number, Rafferty, who got the kick away out towards the half-forward flank. But again, Spotswood will whisk it away through Hodgson. Kick around the body, close to the boundary, and it's taken out of play in front of the club rooms on the outer side. Yes, a few concerns on the Altona bench, no doubt, with the way they've started this second term. Kicking with the breeze. They've had their chances, haven't been able to take them. 1-5 playing 4-4. Boundary throw in on the outer side. Rafferty and Boyd. Rafferty swiped the ball, but it's taken down by Nastasi. That man again, his handball didn't hit the target, but they're moving forward here through Hodgson. Can't quite gather cleanly. Now under pressure is Magna Bosco for the Vikings. Off hands, comes down towards Spiteri. Through heavy traffic, they muscle it up towards the centre of the ground, Altona. Now getting the loose footy here is Post. Kick up towards half forward. Kennedy's got it. Kennedy spreads it out towards the flank, and attacking it hard here is Turnbull. Gathers on the bounce. On the outside of the boot, this would be a pretty handy goal. It bounces and bounces and through for one behind. Well, they're having to work hard there to get it forward, the Vikings. They did end up getting a score out of it. They're 1-6 now, trailing Spotswood 4-4.
Yeah, that was better play by the Vikings, but unfortunately they couldn't manufacture a goal, so they've got to try and make sure they don't allow Spotswood to get it out of defence so easily here.
So they bring it out of defence. Jumping up high there was Pickard to try to send it back inside 54. The Vikings. Comes Woodsman's way, but then they've turned it over. Rafferty takes the mark. That's Josh, the ruckman. Kicks up towards half forward. It's a little too easy for Kennedy, who just waltzes into space and takes the mark. Too far out to score. Dinks the kick inside the 50. Beautiful pass. Turnbull has it. Right forward pocket, 40 metres out.
Yeah, Mitch Turnbull really has to kick this goal for Altona because at the moment Spotswood are getting on top, so has to kick this goal to keep the Vikings in this contest.
Mitch Turnbull. Normally a beautiful kick of the football, not this time. Always near side. 1-7-13. Spotswood 4-4-28. So it's not panic stations just yet, but for the meantime, they're being outplayed, and they can't afford to have that happen. Kicking with the breeze. They're already 15 points down.
So Newton with the kick-in duties here for the Woodsman this time. He runs on and sends it out to the commentary side. A floating ball, an ugly ball, but getting there in time and taking the mark is O'Brien on half-back. Chips it up towards the commentary side wing. Not a great kick. Patak got it off hands. Handball forward now. Newton. Also Yacarino arrives in support. Got a handball away. Now off a step. It's Daly. Kick inside the 50 for the Woodsman. Nastasi's there again. Oh, it was touch ball. He plays on. Hits the ground running. Handball now to a teammate. Running into an open goal, and they've got their third of the quarter. It was Bilby for the Woodsman who put it through, and Altona in trouble here now. It's 5-4, 34 the Woodsman, leading Altona 1-7-13, and we've gone nearly 15 minutes in the second on WRFL Match of the Day.
Yeah, Altona, Spotswood, great play there. They're just starting to get on top, I think, in the midfield. They're starting to create some space, and that run and carry that Spotswood do so well is just starting to get on top. Altona really have to tighten it up a little bit now and not allow Spotswood easy possessions, because they're just starting to take control of this game.
Well, run and carry is so crucial. Kicking into the wind, if you can do it well, you don't necessarily have to bomb away and let the wind affect it. So they're doing it sublimely at the moment. Boyd wins down the tap, high kick up and under. Harvey tried to knock it down. An opportunity there for Buzatil. Loses it. There's been a whistle. It was a free kick Spotswood's way, and they claim the advantage. It was paid. Kicked beautifully out in front there of O'Brien, who kicks deep inside the 50. Nastasi a chance. It's off hands. Pickard saw it through for a behind. So
Pickard thought he had a mark there, and he, from where I'm sitting, had a pretty good claim to it as well, going back with the flight.
So Spotswood 5-5, Altona 1-7, 22 points, 16 minutes gone.
So the kick in for the Vikings. Kennedy was the target, and he nearly had his bald head taken off. So that's a free kick for a high tackle. He's got support in O'Leary running shotgun. Two recruits to the club this year, Kennedy and O'Leary, and now it's Rafferty, Trent Rafferty, who gets a kick forward, but it's chopped off by Harley Walsh for the Woodsman, and they repel again. Walsh kicks and finds Yacarino. Centre wing on the commentary side. Chip in board. Mark taken by his teammate Bussadell now. Bussadell, a bustling character, a fairly stocky sort of bloke. You wouldn't want to get into trouble with him. Comes off hands from his kick, close to the boundary, close to the commentary box. Yacarino arrives, got a kick around the body inside the 50, but it had Kelly Pickard's name written all over it, and the dependable defender takes the mark. Prods short here and finds his teammate Mundy, who kicked the only goal so far for Altona. Sends a long kick to the outer side. It clears the target in post, who has to scramble back together close to the boundary. In the end, he's happy to see it out of play in front of the club room's outer side.
So normally in a moment like this, it might be one of those times where Jaden Post goes back just to stem the tide, because he played such a pivotal role there last year.
Yeah, definitely, particularly with the inside 50 spots what are getting this in this second quarter. They need all the help in defence that Altona can get, so maybe it is time for Sadi Ghazi to swing Jaden Post down back, just to help him get a little bit of versatility down back, because Spotswood are certainly getting the ball inside 50 too many times, and Altona certainly need assistance down back.
It's not like it's a high scoring game either, so you can't let this get too out of hand. Rafferty gathers from his bootlaces, turns it over straight to Boyd in the middle. This is Jordan. Buzatil offering short. He decides to go across to the wing. Hand pass comes to Bilby. 1-2 there with Daly running aggressively through midfield. Kicks inside the 50. Well done. Mark's taken by Adam Key, who marks at fullback for Altona. He goes short to right half back. And it's Jack Marley. Kicks through the middle. Spiteri. Strong hands, back edge of the centre square. Altona 1-7, trailing Spotswood 5-5. Close to time on in the second quarter. Kick in the post direction, had to fly from the back. There's a whistle. He's been paid to mark. Newton pleads his case with the umpire. Perhaps had a point. They both had a piece of it. In the end, Post lowers his eyes and delivers inside the 50. And spots up his teammate in Mundy.
Umpire was much closer than us, of course, but that was a pretty generous call there to Jaden Post to pay that a mark.
So Tom Mundy, as you mentioned, Cade, has kicked the only goal of the game so far for Altona. This for number 2, almost essential right now. Directly in front, 40 metres out, struck it pretty well, and it sneaks in. So they needed that one desperately, Altona. And Tom Mundy delivers in his first game of 2019. He kicks his second goal. The margin's back to 16 points. Spotswood 5-5-35, leading Altona 2-7-19. 19 and a half minutes played in this second term.
Yeah, good goal by Tom Mundy. That was a badly needed goal by Altona after Spotswood had been controlling this second quarter pretty well. So just to get that goal, hopefully that'll give a bit of vibe and a bit of swing the momentum Altona's way. Because certainly in this second quarter it has been Spotswood who have been the better team and have been getting on top in this second term so far.
At the restart, Gertz and Boyd. Gertz, the bigger man, won it down as you'd expect, but he can't do it effectively as, again, there is a ball up. Umpires certainly earning their money today, both boundary and central. Lots of stoppages here. And another one. And it favours Boyd, who takes it out of the ruck, muscles a handball towards Harvey. He can't gather cleanly. Now Kennedy in around it. He can't get an effective kick. And eventually, strong tackle by Nastasi. And he brings his opponent to ground, and there's a ball up just outside centre half forward for Spotswood. Gertz and Boyd once again. Gertz won that emphatically, and running onto it here is Robbins. Squeezed a handball now to the running Spiteri up towards half forward, and the mark's taken by Post. He's too far out to score, but they're a chance here, the Vikings, as Post goes into the pocket, and I think he's found Rose, who's been very quiet, Paddy Rose. Leading goal kicker in the competition last year. He won't add to that here as he chips back in board and finds Robbins still too far out to score for the Vikings. They're out on the right half forward flank. Now he goes in board here, Robbins, and finds a teammate. And the mark's been taken by on the other side of the ground there.
Another mystery number.
Yes.
There's a few of those today.
Yes, but he's got the long hair, a bit like you, Peppy. So lucky he's playing for Altona and not Spotswood. He wouldn't get a game with them. Anyway, in he comes, the mystery Altona player from 40 metres. Whoever he is, he can kick a ball. That's a long ball, but it's touched on the line and through for one behind. So Altona advanced to 2-8-20, trailing Spotswood by 15, 5-5-35. And from the restart, Newton with the kick in. Out towards half back for the Woodsman. Trying to crash his way through there was Del Rosso, the big ruckman. He left the ball behind though. It's close to the Altona bench. Ball squeezed into the pocket, attacking it hard there was Daly, but he ran out of room. And there'll be a throw in deep in the left forward pocket here for the Woodsman. Kicking to the Westgate Freeway end in this second term.
Yeah, much better last 3 or 4 minutes by Altona. They obviously manufactured a goal through Tom Mundy, but have got the ball inside, locked the ball inside 50, so they need to manufacture another goal while they've got the ball inside 50.
From the throw-in, it came down to Robbins. He was crunched by about 3 Woodsmen. No way he's escaping from that. He's had a few heavy hits already today. Jordan Robbins went off for a period of time in the first quarter. A little ginger, but it's good to see him back on. Gertz from the stoppage reaches over the top. They can't break free. Kennedy tries to wrench it out of the congestion unsuccessfully. Ball up, about 40 metres out from the Vikings goal. Another goal and they're right back in the contest, really. It's the beauty of a low-scoring game as it was snapped out of there. It got all the way to the line. Might have been socketed through in the end by Post, but it was knocked through for a rushed behind and they converge.
Bit of a dust up here behind play. I think Josh McDonald, who had that shot at goal, was the tackler went on with it, and he's still at the bottom of the pack. But play has gone on.
It was actually Jack Papachitsakis who had the shot, number 9 in the long sleeves. In the meantime, as the scrimmage breaks up, the ball's made its way to the wing. 5-5 to 2-9, so wasteful Altona so far. 23 and a half gone in the second.
Yeah. Boundary thrown in front of the club rooms. Kennedy had a huge amount of the ball, not too effective though on this occasion, and Spotswood win it back. Daly, who gets a kick up the boundary, taken away by Pickard though, sends it back the other way, a bouncing ball, and nearly having his head taken off right in front of the club rooms was the Spotswood player Boyd there, and he gets a free kick, picks himself up eventually.
Yeah,
in fact, play has been allowed. No, there's another dust up behind play. They're in between where the player and the mark was, Boyd went short, found his namesake Murray, who kicks inside the 50, and Yacarino's marked. Moves it on quickly to Patak. Kick to the top of the goal square. Murray Boyd is back there. He's undermanned. He can't take the mark though, and they're in the last line of defence for the Vikings. Happy to see it out of play is Killy, and a rush behind is a good result for Altona.
So the Vikings bring it in. Kennedy's the outlet. Kiki takes the mark just inside the defensive arc of 50. His side 15 points down. Beautiful kick to the wing. Spots up Mundy in space. He's got McDonald out wide. He can use... Robbins told him to go there, but he instead went more direct in the post direction. Beautifully camped. And he read the flight of the footy perfectly, did Jaden Post. And took the mark. And the set shot will come from about 45 metres out, directly in front. And just as they did in the second half of the first quarter, the Vikings just take a bit of control in general play, and Jaden Post's first goal couldn't come at a better time. On the approach, right foot drop punt is beautiful. Much needed again for Altona. They kicked the last two. 3-9-27, trailing Spotswood 5-6-36, 25 and a half played in the second quarter.
Yeah, good goal for Jaden Post. They certainly needed that one, as Altona have kicked 2-5 so far in this second quarter, similar to what Spotswood kicked in the first quarter, 2 goals 4. So when both teams have been kicking with the breeze, they haven't been able to take full advantage of their accuracy in front of goal. But Altona have been better in the last couple of minutes by kicking the last 2 goals and getting themselves back.
Deep into time on here, and a couple of goals has changed the complexion of this match a bit for Altona. At the ball up, Goats won it down, and Shark there by Mundy, off to the running Robbins. They're on a move here again, Altona. Robbins kick inside the 50, juggling mark post, wasn't paid, down towards Spiteri, got boot to ball, and it's bounced through a third in a row. They are on the charge here, the Vikings, 3 goals on the trot after almost 2 quarters, produced just 1 goal. They've kicked 3 in the blink of an eye, and they are right back in town here. Margin just 3 points. Spotswood 5-6-36, Altona 4-9-33. We've gone nearly 27 minutes in the second.
Yeah, good play by Altona. They got the centre clearance there, got the ball inside 50 and manufactured another goal to get themselves within 3 points.
So it's perfectly poised going into half-time all of a sudden. Gertz wins the tap cleanly, hacked out of there by O'Leary. Up towards half forward. It's held up though by the Woodsman. It'll be a ball up. Just forward of centre. Gertz reaches over the top, but it falls down the Woodsman's way. Hodgson gets a clearing kick up towards left half forward. First there is Wayne Patak. Bounce evaded him though, it didn't help him out. Key gets it for the Woodsman, for Altona, but turns it over. Kick deep inside 50. Yacarino one out with Spiteri. Yacarino kept it in front of himself. Couldn't quite gather. He does now. Stripped to the footy by Spiteri, and then it spills out to Pickard, who clears the danger zone for Altona. Kicks in the Kennedy direction. Might have given away a free kick. The umpire allowed it to go. Spills to Nastasi. Takes a bounce. Lays it off. Gets it back. Runs into a brick wall there in Pickard, and he is pinged for holding it. Tried to do a little bit too much there, Charlie Nastasi. And a couple of chances go begging for the Woodsman.
So a bear hug there from Kelly Pickard. No way Nastasi was getting out of that. And now he takes the free kick and goes too short. It's chopped off by Basuttle for Spotswood, and they gather the loose footy here in the centre. Hodgson now back towards Basuttle. Handball went towards the running Hodgson, who was going shotgun. He couldn't quite get the ball back though, and it ends up with another ball up. So both sides making a few errors there.
Yeah, well done by Steve Kennedy just to lay a vital fingertip on it. It would have been probably a running shot at goal from 30 otherwise.
Boyd slapped it into the 50. O'Brien over the top of it for Spotswood, battling hard, can't get clean hands on the footy. Again, they fight for it. Viking players want ball. They say the Altona player Hodgson dragged it in. Not to be, says the umpire. Right on the attacking 50 here for Spotswood, who would love a late goal just to stem the tide a little bit. Boyd won the tap, trying to burst his way through as McInerney, like a dump truck. He bursts through eventually. Can't quite take the football with him now. Pataka's there at ground level. He got a handball out. They were on there, the Woodsmen, but the siren beat them. And it's half-time here at Don McLean Reserve on this Anzac Day weekend. And we've got a very fascinating contest opening up between Spotswood and Altona, these two great old rivals. Spotswood jumped out to an early lead, and it's a lead they maintain at half-time, but it's much smaller than what they expected. They are 5-6-36. The Woodsmen leading Altona 4-9-33, a 3-point margin at the main break. You're on WRFL's Match of the Day on Win FM with Kate Lucas, Pepe Cavalieri, Andrew Muscat, Sarah Ramontatis. We're going to have a break, and then we'll dissect the first half after that.
You would listen. It has been pretty close game for most of the game, but Spotswood looked as though they were opening the game up, so I'd certainly expect one team to open it up in the second term.
Andrew Muscat, our expert on 88.9 Win FM, as we get things underway in the second half. A bit of a scrap. All those players, and then inside the 50 for Altona. The mark's taken by Cavallaro, hands it off to Kennedy. They don't want to overuse this, and Rose was the next in the chain, and he tried to fist it forward because it just got out of his grasp, and in the end it was knocked through for a rushed behind. So they draw a little closer, Altona. They're 2 points down now, but again an opportunity goes begging.
A few of those today where they've had opportunities and only been a rush behind. And now from the kick in from McInerney for Spotswood, and it's marked on the outer side, but marked by Altona. And it's Magna Bosco has got it, who sends it deep into attack. Up goes post. Oh, that's a commanding mark. Got the sit on top of Hadara, I think it was, for Spotswood. He was the stepladder, and Jaden Post has taken a big mark in the left forward pocket. He's on a sharp angle, but he needs to go back and drive this one home at the start of the second half.
Yeah, awesome start for Jaden Post, and a good start by Altona in this third term so far. They've started the way they finished off the second term, and if Jaden Post can put this goal through and give Altona the lead, it'd be the perfect start. For
his second, it didn't look great off the boot. It floats across the face, nearly another big mark on the line. Not taken, and now Spotswood should be able to get it clear. They've got the numbers, and one of them is Rornick, who gets a kick away out of half-back, but a mark taken by Spiteri. And they will send it back into attack here, the Vikings. They're not letting Spotswood get away here at the moment. Spiteri drives it back inside the forward 50 and up and under ball. Post going again. Went a bit too early this time. Off hands. The Spotswood defence working overtime. McInerney under the pump. Got a kick around the body. Eases the pressure a little. Now arriving as Hodson. Wheels 180. Got it by a hand to Yacarino. Around the body on the clubroom side. An up and under kick. Bouncing football now. Murray Boyd is there to see it over the boundary. And there'll be a throw in right in front of the club rooms on the outer side. We've gone 2 minutes in the third term.
5-6-36 Spotswood. Altona 4-10-34. It's very tight at Donald McLean Reserve. Gertz wins his way to the front, wins the tap as well, but it's only as far as the Woodsmen, who get a kick up towards half forward. Strong hands out in front there. Bilby too far out to score, just 4 to the circles. Magna Bosco mans the mark. Bilby's going to send it long. He wants to get plenty of depth on the kick with the wind behind him. First hands to it. They're unable to complete the mark there. It was Hodgson, the big man in the goal square for the Woodsmen. It spills off hands and out of play next to the right hand behind post.
Yeah, Spotswood have got it inside 50 here. They dearly love a goal here to start this third term and just stop the momentum of Altona.
And to throw in, Del Grosso had front spot, but Gertz sort of reached through him and won the more meaningful tap, and then Kennedy and Pickard couldn't conspire to keep it in. So a boundary throw in, but they've worked it just a little further away from their defensive goal at the freeway end of the ground. Spotswood attacking early in this third quarter. 3.5 minutes old. 5-6 plays 4-10.
Boyd and Gertz wrestle as they have done many times already today. Gertz tapped it back towards the boundary, then was ragged. Oh, gee, you don't see a guy his size slung down like that, but Murray Boyd grabbed him and dragged him down, and a free kick's been paid. I'm not exactly sure what for. Couldn't have been holding. Maybe it was deliberate. I think it was deliberate. So Murray Boyd's got it forward of the wing, too far out to score, but he can set something up. He drives it long and high. towards the top of the goal square. Who's there for the Woodsman? It's off Pax, and at the back under pressure there was Zani for the Vikings, and he's dumped to the turf right on the goal line. There will be a ball up in the goal square. So Gertz just fingertipped it down towards Nastasi, roving the pack, getting boot to ball. Doesn't quite have the carry. That went up and down the chimney, that ball, and through for one behind. 5-7 now, Spotswood leading Altona 4-10.
Geez, looking very dangerous, Nastasi.
He's been good, hasn't he?
He's been very good. I think Altona really have to keep a tight, firm on him because he's breaking loose.
He's built of bricks too, Charlie Nastasi. Magnabosco plays on, kicks out of defence. Boyd got in the way and then forced the turnover, and a kick back towards half forward for Spotswood is marked.
That was a lovely kick by Bilby. It was no look. He was looking towards the boundary and swung the kick across his body and hit his teammate right between the eyes.
So Bryden Hodgson has it. At left half forward, man on the mark just inside the 50. Should have the wind right behind him, and still a difficult kick. Will swing a little left to right, which makes the angle quite acute. And it's across the face, as was expected. Behind to Spotswood, 4 points is their lead. 5-8-38 to 4-10-34. Hodgson with his second behind of the day. This third quarter is 5.5 minutes old on 88.9 Win FM with Pepe Cavalieri, Andrew Muscat, Cade Lucas and Sarah Ramontanis, and Magnabosco brings the ball in again. A long kick.
Out to the clubroom side, but they've whisked it away here again. Spotswood back inside the 50, and a climb and a mark at centre half forward by Bussatul, I think it is, for Spotswood. It was a strong grab here. The cavalry was coming from behind. In fact, it's Hodgson, who stood tall and is marked, and with the wind at his back, he's going to go back and have a shot. He's near enough directly in front. He'll kick from just outside the 50. This to break a run of 3 straight goals for Altona. Hodgson off a step. He eases it straight through the middle. And that's an important goal early in this third term for the home team, after Altona came hard at them late in the second term. But a bit more breathing space now for Spotswood there. 6-8-44, 10-point leaders over Altona, 4-10-34. We've gone 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, good mark by Hodgson there, and yeah, he finished it off with a much-needed goal for Spotswood, just to stop the momentum of Altona to get it out to a 10-point lead.
It's a beautiful finish. Altona could do with a bit of that at the other end, certainly. Down by 10, at the ball up, out of Gertz's grasp. Boyd couldn't capitalise and win the tap. Robbins wins the clearance, kicks up towards half forward in the Blake direction, leads out, couldn't take the mark, and it comes out towards Harvey, who bursts away and delivers beautifully up to half forward for the Woodsman. Mark's been taken by Callard, hasn't had much of it today. He sends a deep entry inside the 50. Hodgson at the back, and as a free kick given away against, I think it was against Del Grosso, who must have intervened illegally. And then the kick out of defence was awful for Altona. Was searching for Key. Never found him. Was wide of the mark, wide of the boundary, out on the full. And Jordan Boyd has the football. Tight up against the boundary. Man on the mark 42 metres out. So he's within range. Can he work this with the breeze? A little left to right. He sets it up inside the 50. It's going across the face. It's a mark. And it's Hodgson again, who has taken this game by the scruff of the neck the past couple of minutes. He's taken 3 marks. This will be his 3rd shot at goal. He's kicked 1-1 from the past 2. It's a big moment. He's not wasting any time. He's only about 10 metres out. It'll have his attention though. He's angled 45 degrees to the left and he nails it right through. It's out to 16 points. A promising third term so far for the Woodsman. 7-8-50. Altona 4-10-34. Hodgson with his second.
Yeah,
a bit of breathing space.
He certainly started this second half brilliantly up forward. Hodgson, and yeah, Altona really have to make sure they stop this momentum of Spotswood, because if Spotswood get the next one or two, the danger bells are going to start ringing at Altona to get back into this game.
For your sake, Muskie, let's hope Hodgson doesn't touch the ball again. It's a bit of a tricky one. Maybe try Papa Chitsakis for Altona. I reckon you'll have a bit of easier time with that name.
He's certainly wearing the famous number for Spotswood, number 19, which is the former premiership coach of 2011, Chris O'Keefe. So that number is pretty valuable at Spotswood.
And at the ruck, Boyd is pretty valuable for Spotswood. He won down the tap here, but Altona have got their hands on the footy through Robbins. His kick is partially smothered, picked up though by Nastasi, handballed to the back of a teammate, not sure what was going on there, and it's soccered forward by Altona to the safety of the boundary.
Attack was just facing the wrong way.
Yes.
Hit him in the number.
Yeah. They call it a falcon when it hits your head. I'm not sure what they call it when it hits your bum.
I think it's just called a communication breakdown.
Yes. Anyway, we've got a throw in here in front of the club rooms on the outer side. Centre wing. And Rafferty and Boyd. Boyd, with that big, strong body of his, got the tap down. But they win it away again here, the Vikings, through Zani. His kick is partially smothered, ricochets towards Adara. Quick hands, chain of handballs comes towards Daly. Kick up towards half forward, off hands. Under pressure there was Callard, couldn't gather cleanly. Socked away by Spiteri for the Vikings. He's got it again here. He dodges an opponent. Kick inside the 50 to no one in particular. Leading his opponent out to the ball was Walsh, but Rose was his opponent. Had a rare touch there, went to ground. Handball away, but it's mopped up by Daly for the Woodsman again. Close to the boundary. Now there in support is Rourke. On towards Boyd. Handball now towards the running Yacarino. The big names arriving for Spotswood. Yacarino's kick wasn't great. On the bounce. Ricochets out towards Patak. Put his head over it. Muscled out a handball. Picked up by Nastasi. Now towards Boyd. Flat-footed. Took on a couple. Handball back towards Edwards here. Using a lot of the footy, but not going too far, Spotswood. Kick around the body here, and now they've got a mark. Patak going back with the flight of the ball. And he will have a shot on goal about 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. They got there in the end, Muskie.
Yeah, they certainly did. Gee, Wayne Paddock been around Spotswood for many, many years. A very good footballer, and if he kicks this goal, it's certainly going to put a bit of a gap for Altona to get back into it.
In he comes. Stabs at the shot. He's got a sharp angle to deal with, and he ends up hitting the post. So Paddock can only come up with it behind, and the margin now out to 16, 7-9-51 Spotswood, Altona 4-10-34.
From the kick in, they've worked it all the way up to the middle. Cavallaro takes the mark on the lead. Looks very different with the shaved sides of the head. We're used to him with the tied up, what do you call them, dreadlocks.
Yes.
But his kick's not great. Maybe needs the dreadlocks back. He's turned it over. O'Brien takes the mark.
Maybe you could go with the dreadlocks.
Not sure about that.
The man bun dreadlocks, that would suit you.
Short to McEnany. Wanted Patak again. Didn't get there in time. Kevin Johnson filled the hole. Takes the mark for Altona, who would dearly love the next goal. Boy, do they need it. Short ball to Trent Rafferty. Just need to monopolise the footy a little bit. Take the game away from Spotswood. Still plenty of time. And the second half of quarters have been their best halves of quarters. Offhands, Post had a go. It was offhands. Boyd spilt to Altona inside 50. Tried to do the clever little knock on there. Did Rose in favour Turnbull, but he had two to beat. One was Harley Walsh. The other was Gareth Newton. He got it over towards Callard, who let the ball sit up for him. And then he was confronted there by Mundy, who did brilliantly against two Woodsmen and holds it up. Sensational from Tom Mundy. Had no right to win the footy. The Woodsman should have marched away with that, and Dylan Callard probably should have done better. But as it is, it will be balled up about 60 metres out from the Vikings goal. Down by 17 at the stoppage. Hodgson moving up the ground. Loses the footy, lays the tackle, and the ball spills over and out. 7-9-51 Spotswood. Altona 4-10-34. At the stoppage, Rafferty, Trent hooks it out forward. It falls in the lap of Papachasakis, who kicks into the pocket, partially smothered. Well done there by Blake for Altona, but he couldn't win the football. They've got numbers. Spotswood off. Blake followed up nicely. Forces, well, there's a whistle on the play. Who's it going against? I think it's a Spotswood ball. It's against Elliot Cavallaro. And Jackson Edwards has the footy at right half-back.
So deep in the back pocket, or between back pocket and half-back, in defence anyway. Edwards, a long raking left footer up in front of the clubhouse. No one can take the mark. Patak hurdled an opponent and got his foot on their head in the way through. That was a pie for a free kick. Advantage is paid, but they don't really get the advantage. Altona, though, coming through is Kennedy. Soccers on towards Papagiannakis into the 50. Rose, who's been very quiet, can't take the mark here. He's close to the boundary, and all over him like a cheap suit was Harley Walsh, and he sees him out of play. Back where we started in the left forward pocket.
Yeah, just hasn't got great service today. Patrick Rose, and has tried to be a little, maybe too clever on a couple of occasions.
Boundary throw in. Murray Boyd, that is. He big roundhouse and he won the ball away, and it's sharked now by Harvey. Away they go here, the Woodsman. Harvey has a bounce, a kick up towards half forward. A strong mark by O'Brien, who plays on quickly. There's no one in the goal square. He goes for home. O'Brien, he's put it through. Quick thinking there by Stephen O'Brien for the Woodsman. Took the mark, turned around, saw no one in front of him, thought I'll have a goal here, and that's what he does. And there's a bit of a dust up behind play. Tempers fraying here as Spotswood put a gap in Altona. They're now out by 23 points rather. 8-9-57 to Altona, 14-34.
Yeah, poor defence by Altona by not having anyone back on the back in the defensive goal square, and allowing Stephen O'Brien to march into an unmarked, unmanned goal square to put through a goal to take the Woodsmen out to a 23-point lead. 3-3 to 1 point.
It's been one-way traffic in this third quarter after half-time. Spiteri let the ball go and then caught Iacarino high. McDonald came in, tried to make a physical impact, and then the kick up towards half forward. It's going to be an Altona free kick. It's Key, who was clobbered at the last moment. He works it okay for Marley, who plays on, hoists the kick up, forces Spiteri to jump at it. He does. It spills front and centre to Mundy. Releases McDonald out wide. Shares it with Cavallaro. Wants to play on and does. Hand pass back to Mundy. He's got two already. He wheels onto the right boot and kicks number 3, keeping Altona in the ball game. And that is well and truly against the flow of play here too. 17 points again. Altona 5-10-40. Spotswood 8-9-57. And Tom Mundy has 3 goals to his name.
Yeah, good goal by Tom Mundy. A much-needed one for Altona, just to keep themselves in this game. So, fantastic goal by Tom Mundy. 3 goals, as you mentioned, Pepe, for the day. So far, he's been fantastic up forward for the Vikings.
Yeah, he hasn't had a huge amount of the football, but when he has got it, he's usually hit the scoreboard. They've been all sorts of trouble without him. So they keep hanging around here, Altona. Margin 17 points. At the ball up, Rafferty in ruck for them against Boyd, who had the better of it. Down towards Harvey, who's been pretty good for the Woodsman. A kick inside 50 here. The dangerous O'Brien gathers on the bounce, wheels around, looking for his second in a row, and he wasn't far away. He just missed to the far side. So one behind there for Spotswood. They've been pretty good at replying to Altona's goals. Altona did kick those 3 late in the second term in a row, but other than that, they've been able to answer the Woodsman from the kick in here. Altona goes straight up the middle. Coming from behind like a steam train was Cavallaro. Couldn't bring the ball with him. Staying down and gathering was Daly. His kick was smothered. Now Newton. Last line of defence. By hand over towards Daly again. Handball now towards Rourke. This way then that away. He spears a ball towards centre half forward, but it's well marked by Post, who looks like he might have dropped back into defence.
So Post shares it by hand, and then a clever little kick just over the head of Papagiannakis, who gets onto the football, kicks beautifully weighted into the pocket, and running back with the flight and marking close to goal is Jack Marley. Spiteri in the end was the one who delivered it to him.
Probably could have played on there too. I think he did think about playing on. There was no one on the mark. He could have run into an open goal.
Must convert Jack Marley. His team's 3 goals down. He's 15 out, right of centre, and he dobs it. 2 in a minute for Altona. They're back to within 2 goals. And again, it's very similar to the game we called a couple of weeks ago, where one team controlled the early stages of the quarter and then the other had the second, and it was each quarter then, and it seems to be the same here. 2 in a row to Altona, 6:10:46. Spotswood 8:10:58, close to time on in the third.
Yeah, definitely right, Pep. It's been a game of two halves, really, a game of
momentum swings.
Momentum swings, exactly. One team controls the game for probably the first 10-15 minutes of a quarter, and then the opposition get on top in the second half of the last 15 minutes of this quarter.
So from the restart, Kennedy tried to get it out of the pack. It spilled out towards O'Leary. He sends an up and under kick out to the countryside wing, and McDonald's marked. Starting to come into the game. He kicks into the forward 50 here, and he finds a teammate. It's that man again, Mundy. He's already kicked 3, and he might line up for number 4 here. He's a long way out, but he's near enough directly in front. He'll kick from right on the 50 here. Tom Mundy. So 3 goals to his name. He's going to go back and have a shot. He's twirling the ball in his hands. This to cut the margin to 1 straight kick. In he comes. He's got the breeze in his face. He gives it everything he's got, and it will be more than enough. Tom Mundy's got 4. And Altona are back in town here at Don McLean Reserve. They've once again put together 3 goals in a row, and the margin is just 6 points. 8:10:58 Spotswood, Altona 7:10:52.
Yeah, the momentum has definitely swung once again in Altona's favour. That was a great kick by Tom Mundy, kicking against the breeze, and to kick it so accurately from about 45 metres out was just absolutely perfect. So yeah, we're back to a goal of difference.
Back in the middle, 20 and a half played, so we're into time on in the third term. Could the Vikings even be in front at three-quarter time? Rafferty tries to wrench it out. It falls to Bilby. He lost the football, and then a strong tackle, a high tackle laid on Spiteri. Kennedy tries to size up Boyd. I'm not sure that's the smartest thing to do.
Bit out of his weight division there, I think.
Boyd just stuck the chest out and looked down at him, and I think Kennedy backed off. That's all he needed to see. Spiteri ran into a bit of trouble. As a consequence, kicks a high ball. Oh, Papachitsakis almost took a wonderful mark as he read the flight of the football. And in the end, Robbins had to lay a tackle there on Raunick. And it will be balled up 40 metres out from Altona's goal. Down by 6. Rafferty down to Papachitsakis, and then he was wrapped up in a big tackle by Josh Rafferty. Ball up in the same spot, Boyd and Rafferty. Boyd claims it with both hands, kicked it into Zani so it didn't travel too far. Kennedy underneath, Raunick as well. Another stoppage at true centre half forward for Altona. 7:10 plays 8:10.
Vital period in the game here. We're into time on in the third term. If Altona could somehow get on level pegging, it would be a real psychological boost. They're kicking into the forward 50 here, and it's coming off hands to Robbins. Dribbles it through, and they are level. And it's on again behind play. This game has got some serious heat in it now, as Altona have kicked 4 on the trot, and they have drawn level for the first time, I think, since the opening bounce. It's 8-10 apiece here at Don McLean Reserve, and we've gone just over 22 minutes in the third term.
Well, now they've got the wind in the last quarter as well, so how huge is that for them?
Oh, very huge. Clever goal by Jordan Robbins, just a very smart player in front of goal. And yeah, Altona have certainly swung the momentum back their way. When they go straight down the centre, go directly down the line, they look a very good team, Altona.
Centre breaks, as we know, with this new 6-6-6 formation, so important. Boyd misjudged it, and then Rafferty didn't capitalise. He couldn't win the tap, trying to break his way free there. Umpire waves play on. It was Mundy underneath. Spotswood wanted holding the ball. Mundy had a second go, stands up in the tackle, or at least tried to. It's not going anywhere. It gets out wide there of McInerney, spills out in the paddock direction. He's got O'Leary covered for pace for now, but he's got to pick the footy up. He's got a couple to beat. Key comes in. Patak did well to gain plenty of mileage for his team. And then offering a bit of assistance was Charles Bettiol. Maybe he can provide a spark down forward for the Woodsman, but it's a throw in front of Altona's interchange bench. 4 to the wing. At the end, the Woodsmen are attacking up towards that freeway end, the Westgate end. Boyd front spot. Good smother there by Marley in the end. Kennedy lays a big bump. Cavallaro in the end, and then he socketed it, unfortunately, out on the full. So it's a Woodsman ball right on centre wing. 8 goals, 10, 58 apiece. Who would have seen this coming? It was 23 points about 10 minutes ago. That was the game-high lead. Lynch sends a high ball. Muscled out of it there was Murray Boyd. That doesn't happen too often. Josh Rafferty has it. Cavallaro wants it. And the kick just short of him. Gathered by Harvey. He's been good. Delivers nicely to Nastasi, who just ran underneath it. Zani got a vital touch in there. It's over the boundary line. It'll be thrown in on centre wing.
Yes, Nastasi just letting himself down there, slipping through his fingers. He's had a very good day otherwise. And we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward, the Westgate end of the ground. Murray Boyd slapping it over his head towards Patak. Bounce to kick up towards the 50. Suddenly Spotswood need a goal. They won't get one here as the ball is wrapped up in a pack. And there'll be a ball up about 60 metres out from the Spotswood goal. Only one goal in this term so far for the Woodsmen. The Vikings have strung together 4 as Boyd won the tap. But again, they can't get the clearance, the green and golds. And it's socket out of the pack, Altona's way. Key picked it up, handball towards McDonald inside the 50 and onto the chest of Robbins. Maybe too far out to score for him. He did kick the last goal. And he's going short here, and Steve Kennedy's all alone, and he is within range. So Kennedy can kick for Altona's 5th on the trot here and put them in front for the first time. Or if not the first time in a very long time. He'll kick from about 45. He does the old Matthew Lloyd bit of grass in the air. I think it's pretty obvious the wind's into his face here. And in he comes. On about a 20-degree angle. Kick from 40. And he's steered it wide. So he does put them in front though. Altona lead by a slender margin, by the slenderest, a point. 8-11, leading Spotswood 8-10, 25 minutes gone.
Yeah, they've certainly controlled the last 10 minutes of this game, Altona.
Harley Walsh with the kick-in duties, plays on. Questionable ball to Coleman, it landed at his bootlaces. Had to get it over to Edwards. And then to Callard, and his kick is turned over. Well done there by Pickard. Spiteri, Zani, good smother by Bettiol, opens the door there for McInerney. Bettiol charging through is Patak. They've worked it clear here. The Woodsman inside the 50. Open forward line, spills over the back. Jaden Post, cool, calm and collected. Gives it over to Ethan Taylor, who's been pretty quiet this afternoon, but he takes a vital mark in the left back pocket. He sends it down the wing in this direction of Papachitsakis, who has it spoiled away out of bounds. Right in front of the club rooms here at Donald McLean Reserve. Altona by a point. 27 minutes gone in this third term. 8-11, 59 to 8-10, 58.
Crucial few minutes here. I said that a moment ago, and Altona kicked a couple of goals. Well, it's probably even more crucial now. The next goal will be vital, close to the final change from the throw-in. Murray Boyd in there like a man-possessed, ragdolling an Altona player into the turf. He was a bit slow to get up too. I think it might be Cavallaro. Or is it O'Leary? Either way, they're getting up a bit groggily. In front of the club rooms on the outer side. Boyd out muscles Rafferty, won the tap. Again, Altona have got numbers at the contest though. O'Leary kicks Sloot off the side of the boot, but lucks of fortune is marked by McDonald, who spreads a kick across half back, switching the play. Clever stuff. He finds a teammate in Magna Bosco. Now goes up through the corridor. Kennedy's up forward, can't mark, outnumbered. Dale at the fall now for the Woodsman, and away they come. Edwards kicks up towards centre wing, finds Callard, looks for options further afield. There's not a great deal of them. He's in two minds here, Callard. He's on the centre wing, commentary box side. He prods the ball into the 50. Oh, just too high for the target, and off hands the Vikings will come away. It's Mundy through the corridor, a wobbly old kick inside the 50. Cavallaro the target, can't mark. Now Newton gathered, he was dumped to the turf. Harley Walsh arrives in support, bouncing football out towards the pocket. Boyd is there under pressure, gathered now, kick up the club side wing, and marking it is Yacarino for the Woodsman.
So they did well under pressure there, the Woodsman, to get out of trouble. Yacarino, one last roll of the dice perhaps, kicks inside the 50. Boyd goes up, couldn't bring down the mark, spills to the back. Altona with numbers. Well done there by Pickard. He's got no one to kick it to, has to double back, gives it to Magna Bosco, tied up against the boundary, and goes short to Johnson. The mark's manned by Patak in the left back pocket. for Altona. Short ball. Ethan Taylor has the footy. 45 metres from his defensive goal. Altona 8:11:59 leading Spotswood 8:10:58. 29 gone in the third term. Kick towards the wing, gets over the back. An opportunity there for Blake. Couldn't work it free, and then he ends up getting it back. Kennedy's riding shotgun. Will he receive the hand pass? No. Marley to an open goal square. How will it bounce? It bounces left. Through for a minor score. In fact, it was Spiteri who had the shot, but it extends the lead. It doubles the lead from 1 point to 2. Harley Walsh to bring it back into play.
You could see his eyes light up there. Spiteri doesn't kick many goals. Had a chance there, and he might get another here as Cavallaro marks from the kick in, but the siren beats him as he was kicking inside 50, and the Vikings denied the chance to add to their lead, which they've built amazingly on the back of 5 straight goals in that term. What a quarter from the visitors, and they go to the final change. 2 points to the good. 8-12-60 Altona. Spotswood 8-10-58. It's three-quarter time on the WRFL Match of the Day. You're listening to us on 88.9 Win FM. We'll have a break and we will...
You are listening to the WRFL.
Last quarter. I'm still going to tip Altona, but Spotswood can easily win this game. There's no doubt. It could go either way. I'll just stick with Altona.
Cade, what do you think?
Look, I think I'm going to... Well, I did tip Spotswood at the start, so I should stick with them, but certainly the Vikings have got the momentum, and as Sadi Ghazi pointed out at three-quarter time, 2 of their big gun forwards, Mitchell Turnbull and Patrick Rose, have hardly had a touch. Patrick Rose, the leading goal kicker in the competition. As you know, I won't repeat the word that Sadi Ghazi used to describe their game, but if they can lift their performance a bit, I think they've probably got more improvement in them than Spotswood do.
So about 30 minutes to go. The Vikings with the wind in the opening term, and the taps won by Gertz straight down to Spiteri, who was claimed in a tackle immediately. A secondary bounce will ensue. 8-12 to 8-10. Vikings in front for the first time. Spiteri kicked as he was swung up towards half-time. And a long ball goes through for a minor score. So the first score of the second quarter, the last quarter rather, 8-13-61 to 8-10-58. Altona with a 3-point lead inside the first minute.
Harley Walsh with kick-in duties at the Westgate end, and he goes long and high to the clubroom side. Big pack. Murray Boyd got purchased, couldn't take the mark. Now an up and under kick from Lynch for Spotswood, and it's marked by Boyd, who plays on. Not Murray Boyd, his namesake. Takes on a couple, now kicks inside the 50. Not a great kick though. It's straight down the throat of post for the Vikings. Kicked 3 goals up forward, but now he's playing down back to try and stem the tide against Spotswood here. He sends it out to the commentary box side. Bouncing football, Rafferty was after it, but Paddock wanted it more for Spotswood. Harvey, now back to Paddock. 2 of their big guns. Paddock around the body, up towards the half-forward flank. It clears the pack. Arriving though is Callard. Quick hands. Found the running Yacarino. Now on to Hodgson in the pocket. Helicopter punt is through. And the natives are very pleased here at Don McLean Oval. They're banging the fence. They're pumping their fists. The home team back in front. 9-10-64. Altona 8-13-61. And Hodgson. Gee, I'm almost saying like you, Muskie. Hodgson's got 2.
Yeah, good start to the last quarter for Hodgson, and just the way he started in that third term when Spotswood were well on top, he's continued on that at the start of this last quarter. Good start to the last quarter for Spotswood to kick the first goal.
I was just about to say, after that mark was taken by Post in defence, that he's been a big reason Altona's got back into the game. His switch from forward to defence, but gee, Hodgson's had an influence as well for the Woodsmen. They're back in front by 3. This time they win the clearance though, the Vikings. High ball to half forward by Mundy. Unable to take the mark. Spiteri follows up from the centre clearance. A quick kick inside the 50. Cavallaro's there. Opportunity at ground level for Rose. Applies the pressure on Newton in the end. Follows up. Added effort. Maybe that was a word said to him at half time. Ethan Taylor applies the pressure, and then the clearing ball was touched. And Mundy thinks it's out of bounds on the full. He almost kicked it. He almost ran off and kicked it. It would have been
a 50.
50 or free kick regardless. It's not like there's a big crowd. I can't hear the umpire that was 2 metres away from him.
The busiest road in Australia right behind him.
True. Had to throw in. Gertz front spot, wins it down. Ethan Taylor first hands to it, and then he left it behind. It was gathered by Yacarino, shrugged the tackle off pretty easily in the end. Kicks just over the head of Hodgson. Opportunity there for Del Grosso. Hodgson might get onto it. So too might Bilby. Beautiful stuff. Tried to snap it to the advantage of Boyd, who still had time to go and collect. He tried to chisel a pass into no space at all. And then Nastasi was legged, perhaps. An opportunity again for Hodgson, who dives on the football. It spills out to Zani, who's caught and pinged. Nastasi followed up. Zani got caught. And Charlie Nastasi never gave that up, and he'll be rewarded with a set shot from 35 out directly in front.
Yeah, good forward pressure from Charlie Nastasi, and Jordan Boyd has also started this last quarter very well for Spotswood, getting a bit of the ball, so a chance here for Charlie Nastasi to put through the Woodsman's 10th goal.
Nastasi misses to the left. Opportunity goes begging there. 9-11-65 Spotswood. 8-13-61 Altona.
Magna Bosco entrusted with the kick-in duties for the Vikings, as he has been all day. Out to the clubroom side, Gertz, like a running lamppost, can't take the mark. It ricochets back inside the 50 though towards Nastasi. He's tackled this time. The live wire forward. Ball hits the deck. There's still a chance here, the Woodsman. As players mill around, they're like seagulls after a breadcrumb. And it comes towards Gertz. Got it by hand now to the running Taylor. And away they come, Altona. Turning defence into attack. The kick finds Cavallaro on centre wing. On the clubhouse side, he's in two minds. He's gesticulating. He's dancing. Now he's kicking into the forward pocket. And Turnbull has marked on his chest. Probably stung from the withering assessment his coach gave him at three-quarter time. He's got the mark here, and he'll kick from deep in the right forward pocket about 35 metres out.
Going for the check side.
In he comes, and the umpire stops, props, and says it's a goal. Mitchell Turnbull, thank you very much. A very fancy goal from the forward pocket in the last term, and it's put Altona back in front by 2 points. 9-13 leading Spotswood 9-11.
Tell you what, Kate, you are something else. We've got Gertz the walking lamppost. Never heard that in my life.
Well, I meant street, lamppost. It's not like a street lamp.
I understand. I just thought it was wonderful. I had to turn the microphone off and have a giggle for a while there. Very unprofessional of me. We're having fun.
We hope you're having fun listening in too on 88.9 Win FM. We've got a good finish coming up.
2 points the difference. Altona back in front. 6 minutes gone last quarter. Ball up back in the middle. Gertz and Boyd. Gertz wins the tap. It's taken by Yacarino. Shrugs the tackle. Throws it onto the boot. High ball inside the 50. Back with the flight. Was almost outstanding there by Key. He couldn't quite take the mark. It was courageous. And he gets a high five from Magna Bosco, his captain. Ball up, 40 metres out from goal. Boyd wins it down. O'Leary roves the pack for the Vikings, clears the danger zone. Only as far as Raunick, who marks at the right-hand point of the centre square. Kicks over the head of Papachatsakis, kicks inside the 50. Ball was dropped there by Del Grosso. And then Zani claimed in another tackle, not pinned this time. Ball up. Gertz stands his ground this time. Boyd wins the tap. Yacarino ran by, went without it, ended up with the footy, threw it onto the boot. Front spot, Del Grosso, how will it bounce? Through for a behind. Nervous moments for the Altona defence, but they still lead by a point. Magna Bosco wastes no time.
And goes out to the commentary box side where Murray Boyd's floating across. Can't take the mark, but Spotswood can keep the pressure on here. But it's picked up off the deck by Mundy, who beat a tackle, and now they're away, Altona. Through the corridor, Mundy kicks towards half forward. Turnbull there, led his man under the ball. Gathered, bouncing ball towards the goal square. Oh, it sits up high and then goes the wrong side of the post. The goal square was clear, but Turnbull couldn't quite hit the target. And Altona moved to 9-14, 68. Leading Spotswood 9-12. Nearly 8 minutes gone in this last term. Kick out here from Walsh to the clubhouse side. Off hands. Key just keeps it inside the line. Handball forward to no one in particular. Patted on there by Robbins, but it was patted back the other way by a Spotswood opponent and out of play.
Gee, such an even last quarter so far by both teams. Both teams have kicked 1 goal, 2 apiece. We're set up for a brilliant, exciting finish to such a great game of WRFL football.
At the throw in, 55 metres out from Altona's goal. Gertz wins the tap. Robbins with the clearance, kicks a high ball to the teeth of goal. Up they go. McDonald is there. It was spoiled away. O'Leary ropes the pack, gets the footy, comes to Cavallaro, throws it onto the boot, misses. So close from Elliot Cavallaro.
It's been very handy up there, Cavallaro.
3 points the difference. 9-15-69 the Vikings. The Woodsmen 9-12-66. As we near the 9th minute of this final term.
Hope it isn't too long a quarter because it's fairly dark out there now. And there's no cars around the boundary that we can get to turn their lights on, Pep. We might have to get them to put their lights on the west gate. That might help us.
Well, the ground itself has lights, so turn them on. That'd be the first option.
It might take a while to warm up. Anyway, Walsh with the kick out towards the clubhouse side through the hands of Gertz, who went up again. Couldn't take the mark on this occasion, and a throw in once again in front of the club rooms. Pretty good crowd here today. A few outside, plenty inside, enjoying the game, and we hope you're enjoying listening on 88.9 Win FM. Boundary throw in, Gertz outreached Boyd, ball bounces back towards the boundary. Paddock trying to keep it in, barging his way forward like a bulldozer, and eventually he finds himself on the wrong side of the line and the throw in again. Actually, no, it's a ball up between centre wing and half forward on the clubhouse side. And a kick around the body by Jordan Boyd this time. Up towards half forward, and Callard's there. Takes the mark, and now he's got space. He runs on and centres the ball. Clever kick. Hodgson's taken the mark, well within scoring range. He's about 45 out, near enough directly in front. He's kicked 2. He won't go for a third here. Instead, he drops it short. And the mark's taken by Besuttle. So Zach Besuttle got into space, and he's marked about 35 out directly in front, and this will put Spotswood back in front.
Yeah, chance here for Zach Besuttle to put the Woodsman back in front. It's been a very even last quarter by both teams.
Been a handy play today, Besuttle, yet to hit the scoreboard though, and he does hit it here, though not in the way he would have liked. He's missed to the far side and one behind. So the margin is 2. 67 playing 69. Altona in front. If you've just joined us, we've crossed 10 minutes in the last quarter. Here's Pepe Cavalieri.
Joel Magnabosco has the footy. Just pauses and waits. He's got Spiteri on short if he wants to use him. Oh, he does, and it made him jump a little higher than he might have liked, especially with Nastasi lurking. That forward pressure. Spreads it wide to Mundy, who's kicked 4 goals. Been one of the main reasons Altona has remained in this game. Kicked goals at crucial moments. That is not one of his best kicks. It's going to stay in the field of play, but Johnson's going to have to be at his best. It was a clever little kick under pressure. He bounces it down the wing. O'Leary obliges. Kicks over the head of Key. Can he get there? He doesn't. But who does is Papagiatsakis. He gathers, gets around one. Hand pass over to Key, who's got to move it quickly. He's run down by Iacarino. He didn't see him coming, holding the ball.
Great tackle, David Iacarino. Stopped a crucial inside 50 for Altona.
2 points down the Woodsman. 12 minutes gone. Kick down the wing. Beautifully weighted kick for O'Brien, who takes the mark in front of O'Leary. Not a whole lot on offer in front of him. Del Grosso wants it at centre half forward. He pokes it into a hole. I think he was searching for Buzatil in the end, but then Boyd took the mark, gave it to Nastasi, breaks free. This to put the Woodsman in front, and he's hooked it. He hit top speed and just didn't settle. It's a point the difference though. Charlie Nastasi has 2-2 for the afternoon. His Spotswood side is at 9-14-68. Altona 9-15-69. 12 and a half gone to the last term.
He looms as one of the real trump cards in this last quarter in Nastasi. You could see his eyes light up there as he tucked the ball under his arm. and went for home, but just missed. Magna Bosco with the kick in. Again to the clubroom side where most of the players have been centred today, and a big emphatic fist away by Kelly Pickard sees it out of play. Just outside defensive 54 Altona. They lead by the barest of margins, by a point, 69 to 68. 9-15 leading 9-14. Could not be set up much better than this. We've got about 10 minutes to go, 10 to 15 minutes here. WRFL match of the day, and from the throw-in, it's belted back towards the boundary and over again. Just a few metres more around towards the clubhouse, where the flag is at half-mast and it's fluttering pretty furiously. The wind hasn't really dropped all day from the southwest. And Altona kicking with it in this final term. They lead by a point. Boundary throw-in. Boyd, who's battled hard all day, as he always does, won the tap down, but again a pack forms. And the umpire will come in and ball up. They must be close to some sort of record today, the ball ups for the umpires. Ever since the opening bounce, it's been a very stoppage-heavy game. And another one here, Steve Kennedy often at the bottom of the pack. He was at the bottom of this one, managed to shovel out a handball. Can't get it clear though, and another pack forms, and we'll have another ball up. Still on the clubhouse wing on the outer side. And it's Rafferty in ruck for Altona. Won it down, but his opposite number, Boyd, got the football handball to Iacarino inside 50 now for Spotswood. Del Rosso, the big ruckman, was up there, couldn't take the mark, and now Altona are away. Bouncing football, finds McDonald, off to O'Leary, off to Robbins, off to Kennedy. Gee, they're off to the races here, Altona. Kennedy on the run, long flying shot at goal, and he's missed. They turned defence into attack in the twinkling of an eye there, but Steve Kennedy just missed, and they lead by 2 points, 9-16 to 9-14.
So Harley Walsh with the kick in. Plays on to the clubroom side, kicks down the wing, misses everybody, and it'll be thrown in. Some of the Altona players appeal for the free kick, given no one touched it, but given he played on, doesn't matter. So it's about 60 metres out from Altona's goal. They're up by 2 points. At the ball up, both rucks missed it. Taylor waiting at the back of the pack. Iacarino lays the tackle. Been terrific today for the Woodsmen. In their top couple of players if they were to win the game. Rafferty and Robbins win it, and they clear it over the back. Here's an opportunity. The man we just mentioned, Iacarino, kicks inside the 50. Too much on it there for Del Grosso, and then Post takes the mark. At least he was paid the mark. Kick settles nicely for McDonald, who sweeps a long hand pass over the top for O'Leary, running forward to the wing. Has to do something good with it. Gives it over to Cavallaro, who unwinds from 45 and kicks an absolute beauty. Sublime finish from Elliot Cavallaro, and he gives the Vikings just a touch of breathing space. 8 points clear, 16 gone to the last. 10-16, 76 Altona. Spotswood 9-14, 68, and Cavallaro's kicked 2 really impressive goals this afternoon.
Yes, a fantastic goal kick by Elliot Cavallaro, and certainly at a vital stage of this last quarter. A great goal for the Vikings to give them an 8-point lead.
Been a very handy player across the 4 quarters, Cavallaro. At the ball up. Spotswood need to reply soon. Boyd won it down. Robbins couldn't get it away for the Vikings, and the Woodsmen have it through Iacarino around the body up towards the half-forward flank. All the bounce sat nicely for Nastasi. Away he goes, tucks it under his arm, then the kick is a shocker, but it turns out okay. Bilby gathers on the bounce. They have replied, Spotswood. Well, they must have heard our commentary. I said they needed to reply quickly, and that's exactly what they did. And they are back in front. No, they're not quite back in front. Just 2 points is the margin again. It's 10-14 Spotswood, 74 to Altona, 10-16, 76. And we've crossed 17 minutes in the last quarter here on Win FM's Match of the Day.
Tremendous reply by Spotswood. Just absolutely outstanding. Altona just seemed to get a bit of breathing space, and within the less of a blink of an eye, Spotswood reply back with a goal to get the margin back to within 2 points.
It's going to be a frantic finish. I think we can be pretty sure of that. 17 and a half gone, back in the middle. Rafferty climbs high, wins it down to Murray Boyd, who gives it to Yacarino, sweeps a hand pass forward to the play. Here's an opportunity for Buzatil, kicks a bullet inside 50, fisted away. Callard roving, gives it over the top. O'Brien can put him in front. He gives it over the top instead to Edwards, who snaps it, goes into the opposite pocket, misses everything, and bounces through just the point side of the behind post, so it is a score for Spotswood.
Just took the wrong option there, a handball to a player in an almost impossible spot deep in the pocket.
Yeah, so 1 point the difference, and again maybe a little too unselfish. I feel like it was O'Brien's goal to kick out of defence, or both players, that was Newton and Post, were grappling with each other. They both missed it, and then Jordan Robbins obliged, picked up the footy, was turned over, then it was kicked back in the Robbins direction, who climbed above Buzatil and took the mark on the wing. And he's happy to take a bit of time and just catch his breath, Jordan Robbins. 10-15 plays 10-16. Nearing time on of the final term. Robbins puts the Vikings inside to 50. Mundy's at the back. It almost falls his way. Picked up by O'Leary. Pushed off the footy. Rafferty has a play at it. Spills to the Woodsman. High ball out of defence. Straight to Kennedy. It's going to come back.
Steve Kennedy. Near enough, best man on ground, or close to it. He kicks into the forward 50 here. O'Brien couldn't mark. Now doing the roving is McDonald. It is dangerous. Handball forward, found O'Leary. He was gathered in a tackle as soon as he gathered the football. And there will be a ball up in the forward pocket for Altona.
I think it was Cavallaro again. He could have...
Yes, Cavallaro, not O'Leary. They're a long way away up at that end of the ground. But a ball up here, a promising spot for the Vikings, who, if they can just jag a goal here, might be hard to stop. As from the ball up, they might get one as Rafferty had a flying shot at goal. It's across the face, though. And another behind, but they all count, especially at this time of the game. They lead by 2 points, the Vikings, 10-17-77, Spotswood 10-15-75.
They've wasted no time getting it out of defence. There's a high tackle being called on. Oh, that's questionable there. That's could have worthy of reversing almost. A little ball to the midriff of Zani. As it is, they're allowed to play. Kick up towards half forward. Gets over the back. An opportunity for Nastasi, but he ran out of room. And there's a free kick being picked out, and it's going the way of Altona at right half back. I think it's going to be Callie Pickard's ball. It will be. Gee, both teams look incredibly dangerous on the counter-attack, though. He goes backwards to Ethan Taylor, who's also had a haircut. Kicks down the wing. Gets over the back of his intended target. Numbers with the Woodsman. Yacarino, quick hands under the pump. Gives it over the top to Buzatil. Delivers into outside the 50. Bilby was there, but reading the play better was key. Who marks on his chest, and he's got Kennedy working hard for him at left half back. He takes the mark. Held up, though, well by Del Grosso. He's 45 metres from his defensive goal. His team's 2 points clear. 21 minutes gone in the final term. Kicks in the Cavallaro direction. He's got great hands, and this is no exception. Marks on centre wing. Kicks in the post direction. He's also got a good pair of mitts. Couldn't quite gather. Picked up by Rose. Almost wanted to claim the advantage, but he'll give it to his teammate in post, who's been given the free kick. And he will have the set shot, Jaden Post. Had a really, really good game today at both ends of the ground, and now when it needs to be won, he's been popped forward again. Normally a pretty good finisher, Jaden Post, to put the margin beyond a goal. He'll kick from 40, slightly angled to the left. Right foot drop punt, starts left, works right, not enough. Misses. The door still ajar for Spotswood. 10-18-78, Altona. Spotswood 10-15-75. 1 goal, 3 for Jaden Post today.
Gee, it's going to be an interesting last. We've probably got about five or so minutes. It's going to be a matter of which team can stand up in the in this time on period of the last quarter and not panic with the ball and take their full opportunities.
We might have a bit more time on here because they've called for a new football. They've either lost the other one, it's gone onto the freeway, or it's lost some oxygen out of it. Either way,
I think it's gone over the fence.
Yes.
Maybe.
It's probably a hazard for the passing cars.
Or onto the cricket net roof, perhaps.
Either way, we've had a bit of a delay while the new ball comes, and away we go. So it's Harvey Walsh, and he runs his full measure as they can do out of a kick in now, and he finds Callard on half back, hard up against the boundary, works the commentary box side. It's an up and under ball, but camped underneath it was Boyd, Jordan Boyd, been a pretty handy player today. On centre wing, he's in two minds here, taking his time. Time is not something Spotswood have a whole lot of. He kicks into the forward 50. It lands on the bounce to Nastasi. He was beset upon though and lost the footy. Bouncing ball up towards the centre of the ground now. A Spotswood player went down. It was Hadara who was collected, and he will get the free kick, and his teammate Newton looked to take it away from him and run on. The umpire says get back and give it to your teammate.
It is Newton's ball.
Actually, it is Newton's ball. Either way, he has to go behind the mark. He's in the centre of the ground. And he kicks it straight into the man on the mark. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the intended target, Pep, as the ball is now caught at the bottom of the pack. Newton, who's a bit upset with himself, is trying to fire up a Vikings player who tackled him.
Newton's had a few nervous moments on this ground in close games, as you remember.
So ball up here, comes off hands in the centre of the ground. Iacarino had an air shot at the ball. Spiteri didn't. He made contact and it floats towards half forward where McDonald's got it. Gathers on the bounce, snaps around the body. It's high, it's straight, it's there!
That's a big goal for the Vikings.
It was Papazatakis. In fact, I got my long sleeve jumpers mixed up. Either way, it's a great goal for Altona, and they might be hard to catch now. Papazatakis, who's on debut, I think, and he won't forget this debut in a while with what could be a match-winning goal. Altona 11-18-84, leading Spotswood 10-15-75.
Yeah, Spotswood are going to have to reply back with a goal very quickly, just like they did early in this last quarter if they want to have any chance of pinching this game. Altona hold a very handy 9-point lead.
25 minutes gone in this final term. There's been plenty of goals, so there's probably going to be a bit more time to play, so there's still time if they can score quickly. Rafferty got the clearance from the ruck, kicks wide out towards the wing. Kennedy got there first, dodged and weaved his way around a couple of players, kicks it inside the 50. Newton intervenes for the Woodsman, tried to keep it out, bundles the kick out of defence, and it bounces out of play. Still inside the attacking 50 though for Altona, who lead now by 9 points. They've kicked 3 goals to 2 this quarter and grown their 2-point three-quarter time lead. At the throw-in, 50 metres out. Boyd tries to grab it out of the ruck, did on the second effort. Following up is Iacarino. Robbins tries to get it inside the 50. And Boyd lays a strong tackle for the Woodsman. Ball up, right half forward for Spotty. 10-15 to 11-18, 26 gone to the last.
So Spotswood needing to make every post a winner now.
4 minutes left.
4 minutes to go. We're reliably informed at the ball up. Comes off hands and bursting away as Daly. His kick doesn't gather too much distance though. Key under pressure for the Vikings. Got it to Spiteri off a step. Bouncing football towards McDonald. Sorry, Papatzakis. I get them mixed up again. Either way, he's lost the football and it's Hodgson for the Woodsman. Kick through the centre. Callard, he almost had his head taken off. The umpire didn't see it. And a kick into the forward 50 goes towards Rose for Altona. Gee, they'd hate it if they get a goal here, Spotswood. Rose has it. He's been very quiet in the pocket. He goes backwards and a good kick finds Rafferty. Josh Rafferty, and it looks like he may go back and have a shot. He's on a sharp angle and he's about 50 metres out, so it will take a good kick. He does have the breeze at his back though, directly at his back.
Also a big unit.
A goal here would just about shut the gate on Spotswood. Rafferty comes in from right on the 50. He gives it everything. He's hooked it though to the near side. A big ride there late from Turnbull, I think it was. He missed the ball and the ball missed the goals. And it's a free kick for Spotswood, deep in defence.
They're going to have to take a few risks now, Spotswood. Time is ticking away.
Murray Boyd with the kick in. He goes to the commentary box side, very close to the boundary, maybe over the boundary. It comes off hands and it's a throw-in right in front of the Altona bench. It would be the more content of the two at this point in the game. We've gone 27.5 minutes. 9-point lead in favour of the visitors. 84 leading 75. Boundary throw in and half back. Rafferty wrestling Boyd. Neither really got a definitive tap. Now Mundy picks it up off the deck. He's kicked 4. He hands it off to Rafferty, who barrels a ball right to the goal line and going back with the flight and marking up against the point post is Mitch Turnbull. One in this term. He's done very little else, but he will go for goal from the right forward pocket and go for the winner.
Yeah, if he kicks this goal, Mitch Turnbull, you would think that would just about be the sealer for Altona.
So he's right up in the point post. He opens the angle, goes the check side, and the umpire, the goal umpire, taps his chest almost as soon as it came off the boot. One behind. 10-point lead now. 75 Spotswood trailing Altona 85.
So Walsh now. It's now or never. They've got to score soon. There's probably only 2 minutes left. Kicks down the wing. Boyd couldn't take the mark. It's taken by Mundy. Breaks free of a tackle. Just gives a hand pass over the top to Magnabosco. High ball is going to be intercepted by McInerney. It wasn't paid in the end for whatever reason. He was caught by Kennedy and it's holding the ball. So that might be the last rites for Spotswood. They're 10 points down at the 29-minute mark. Kennedy in no hurry at all to move this on. In fact, he might even back himself in from long range. Man on the mark is right on the 50. He's just a few paces beyond it. And of course, he was never having a set shot. He drew them in and delivered inside the 50, but then missed the target. And now here's an opportunity on the rebound for Spotswood to make them a little nervous. Altona kick up towards half forward. Marks taken by O'Brien. I've got to move it quickly. Nastasi's running back to goal. He's got no one goal side of him. Wobbling little punt inside 50. It's gathered by Iacarino. He was dispossessed though by Spiteri. Hand pass flicked out to the side by Key. Magnabosco more than happy to have scored it out. And it will be thrown in 45 metres out from Spotswood's goal as we tick to the 30th minute. They must score from this stoppage and hope for a quick centre clearance if there any chance at all. 11-19-85 Altona. 10-15-75 Spotswood. At the throw-in. Rafferty gets to front spot, wins it down. It's gathered by Bilby, who has kicked a pretty remarkable goal in the circumstances. I don't think it'll count. And Altona have hung on for a memorable win at Donald McLean Reserve. 10 points in the end. 11-19-75 to 10-15-75. They trailed all day and by as much as 23 points midway through the third quarter, but came storming home to take the lead at the final change and then added to it in the last. The final score 11-19-85 to 10-15-75.